Welcome to Crossroads Church. Whether you're connecting online, in person, or on demand, thank you for making this time part of your week. If you are new to Crossroads, you might be asking yourself, what is this place all about? Well, it's pretty simple. Peace on earth. We are an open and affirming community of people committed to following the peacemaking path of Jesus. And this peacemaking path leads us to focus our work on rewriting what we call the 5 unacceptable truths. These unacceptable truths are 5 realities that hinder human flourishing and destroy peace on earth. Together, we work to replace spiritual emptiness with spiritual vitality, poverty with physical and financial flourishing, fear of the other with inclusion and affirmation, illiteracy with education and opportunity, and modern-day slavery with freedom. This is what we mean when we say, hope is here. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God.
Love is able to provide. Love is faithful and perfect time. This goodness overwhelms. I am held through the fire. Love's my shield, and this protection never fails. No power can separate. I
Hi there, and welcome to your online-only weekend with Crossroads. My name is Amy Kellogg, and in my everyday normal life, I coach behavior interventions in education and inclusive hiring programs in the corporate world. I'm also the mom of two amazing boys, ages 16 and 11, who are so excited for summer to start, like many of our kids are. If you happen to be tuning in for the first time, you picked a good week. Our entire community is joining digitally with no in-person gathering, and we hope that you find room to breathe this Memorial Day weekend. And thanks for making Crossroads part of that time. We are so glad you're here. Now, before we jump back with the Memorial Day moment, a couple more music videos, and a conversation with our teaching team, I have a few announcements for you. First, even though we're all joining digitally, we still want to connect. Please take a minute to pull up your digital Connect card, either through the Crossroads app weekend section or at crossroadscolorado.com/Connect card. Now, summertime means our community is out enjoying all that Colorado has to offer. But even if you might be out and about, here at Crossroads, we continue our peacemaking work year-round. If you haven't already done so, please consider setting up a recurring donation this summer. It's easy to do so from the homepage of your Crossroads app or at crossroadscolorado.com/give. And speaking of summer, our teaching team needs your help in putting together our upcoming teaching series. Backed by popular demand, it's You Asked For It. Our teaching team will take time this summer to answer your burning questions about faith, the Bible, God, and more, with no topic off limits. So submit your sermon topic ideas to the link in your Crossroads app or on your Connect card. That's all I have for you right now. Next up is a reminder of why we take time this weekend to pause and reflect.
As a nation, every Memorial Day weekend we pause together to remember those whose lives were taken through war in service of our country. We honor virtues like courage and sacrifice and grief carried by so many families across generations. And here at Crossroads, we also widen the circle of remembrance. We remember every life taken by violence, every victim of hatred, every life lost to war, abuse, gun violence, racism, terror, addiction, neglect, or despair. We remember civilians caught in conflicts around the world. We remember the sacredness of human life wherever it's found. And we recognize that for many among us, grief isn't historical, it's deeply personal and painfully present. Some are carrying empty seats at tables this year. Some are learning how to live after funerals or diagnoses, endings or losses that change everything. Some are grieving relationships, dreams, safety, or versions of life they thought would last forever. And so today, we honor grief honestly, not as weakness, not as something to rush past, but as evidence that love mattered. And yet, even in grief, we hold on to hope. We believe love is stronger than violence. We believe that compassion is stronger than hatred. We believe remembrance itself is a sacred act of resistance against a world that too often becomes numb to suffering. So wherever you are watching from today, may you know this: you're not alone in your sorrow, you're not forgotten in your pain, and the people you carry in your heart still matter. So this Memorial Day, we pause and we honor and we grieve all those who have lost their lives to war and violence. We honor those that we have lost to sickness and tragedy, and we honor them not only with remembrance, but by choosing compassion, justice, mercy, and love.
Flood this heart with assurance of your mercy. Fill this mind with the knowledge of your love. Hold me fast through the deep and steady current. How long till these tears are gone? Every hour, awake me to your presence. Shine your light brighter than the dawn. Send your joy tears are gone. Every shadow is uncovered by your love. For every lie, every shadow is uncovered by your love.
If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the no's on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you and your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark.
So we're here in a real house with real things happening.
Real food.
Real conversations, real food, real drinks. It's really 5:30 p.m. though.
I brought the personality.
Yes.
I brought the looks. I don't know.
So what happened was, just maybe give folks a little context, we were meeting here talking about the teaching calendar, what kind of series we want, and we knew from last year there were a lot of questions around afterlife, heaven, hell. Yeah. And Brooke, I think you brought this book to our attention, right? Was it you? Yeah. And so you were like, we're going to do this. Shut up. No questions asked. The end. And so we're both a little scared of you. So we were like,
okay.
What Brooke says goes. No, but you brought up this book, Hellbent, and we said, yes, let's do a series that really tackles this idea of hell because it's a big topic. And we have Hellbent here, which is the name of the book and the name of the series that technically starts the day people watch this. But yeah, hell.
What a fun, warm, fuzzy, just lovely word.
Yeah.
Just brings up all nice emotions and feelings. And
Yeah. Part of the reason why we thought like maybe some whiskey or
yeah,
a mixed cocktail might be nice. We have
a dessert cocktail. Yeah, that was intentional.
Absolutely.
Why do you think, well, first of all, have you seen The Good Place? That feels like a good place to start with this question.
That's a good show.
I saw where it was filmed at Universal. Does that count?
No, Aisha, it does not.
That's your homework.
Yeah.
Good
Maybe
show.
you should watch that before. Put down the book.
Totally.
Put down the book and stream a little.
Look and start a movie.
The Good
Dr. Aisha.
Like 6 seasons, this big question, television show, sitcom, but really is this idea of what happens when you die.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen
Yeah,
Bell
I
and
love
Ted
her.
Danson.
Oh, I love Ted.
Really interesting show, but I bring it up just because I think the show speaks to, it doesn't really matter how religious a person might be. It doesn't really matter, what your background is. It captures your imagination, the afterlife, right? I have this little book here, right?
Light reading,
which I brought to just say, like, this is the definitive work on the history of the thinking of the afterlife in Western religion. Right? So this is kind of like the volume. If you want to know like how it traces, it goes back to Egypt and then carries through like the Islamic world. But like, this isn't a new topic, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the Good Place was this very popular show because it gave it a twist, but it dealt with this. And so we thought it'd be good to just have this kind of conversation to kick us off on our online only experience, to just say, what is our experience with this idea of hell, and why is it important that we talk about? So maybe that's a good question. Like, tell me about your experience with hell, right? Like growing up, what was that like for you? Was it a part of your upbringing? Was it not? What do you think?
You know, for me, because I didn't grow up in one church. I grew up as a church nomad. And it wasn't until I went to college where I found a church and then ended up being at that church for, 8 years. But growing up foundationally, I was just going on Sundays with a friend. So I'd go to random churches or wherever I could beg my mom to drop me off at to let me go to church. And so I never had enough of one church to get any sort of spiritual guidance or misguidance around hell. So it truly was, for me, a couple of things that influenced it was reading Revelations and being horrified that, oh my goodness.
That's like, when did you read that for the first time?
I think I was
14. Yeah.
Solid move at 14.
yeah.
Solid move.
Yeah. And just be like, oh my goodness, we're all gonna go to hell. Like, hell's coming to us. Like, that's what it felt like. That's what I thought. And then about that same time, I read Dante's Inferno. And those two texts honestly shaped. So I thought for decades that hell was 7 layers, and you start here, and you go, there's purgatory, and there's this, and you're just tormented your soul over and over, and then you go deeper if you did worse things, and then boom, boom, boom. And so it wasn't until probably my mid-20s when I really reconnected with trying to understand and dissect scripture and put things together and have conversations with people, when I really started feeling, and even then I would say for the next 20 years after that, my thoughts around hell were shifting and changing, and now I'm at a I think a very reasonable place with HE double hockey sticks.
You can't say it, but you can spell it.
But yeah, so I think on one hand I'm really lucky that I didn't have any dogma guiding me.
Yeah.
I really did. It was like this fictional
Just kind
place.
of dabbled your toes into it, just for the fun of it as a teenager,
And so I think for me, it really was about Jesus. Like everything that was spiritual for me was about Jesus. And that's where I kept, my dial kept getting pointed to. So hell for me wasn't really even a part of my faith journey, if you will. I had a friend who passed away in high school, and because of the way he passed, at his funeral at a Catholic church, they said that, that he was in purgatory. And I took that as at the funeral. Yeah. And they also told me I couldn't do communion. Yes, even though I was baptized.
So that might have been right on. I'm just kidding.
Well, here's that. But I really took that because a priest had said it, and I took it as that is the word. And I struggled for years, for a really long time, with thinking my friend was hurting, thinking his soul was hurting.
That's a really interesting thought, because like religious power gets intertwined with these. So you're like on this journey, and it is what it is. I'm dabbling in hell a little bit, but then when an authority figure like starts talking, it does something different in your heart.
Totally.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yep.
Boy, did we have different experiences. That's great. I mean, that's not great. Woo.
Good for you is what she's
Job security for therapists. Yeah, it's interesting because as I've been reflecting since we last chatted, I was trying to think about when I really remember like starting to interact with the topic. Like I was very much raised in very conservative, like Protestant faith, and it was around like in conversations and stuff. But I was trying to think about, when did I actually start like contemplating the idea of like afterlife, heaven, hell, what does that actually mean? And it was around the same age, 16. And I was in a youth summer program, and all of a sudden inundated with all sorts of things that I wasn't prepared for. But that was definitely one concept. And if I'm honest, that summer was really intense for a lot of ways. But the concept of hell drastically changed me as a kid. Because up until that point, like religion was like a cultural thing and faith was very cultural. And it was something that we kind of did. But like when I was a kid, I wanted to play sports. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I was on like student council and did all these things. And that was way more exciting to me. And then I went to this program and all of a sudden it became this very life or death. You know, like this is life and death. Like this is people's lives. Like the people that you love that are not following this path, this is what they can have. And like I'm 16. And so all of a sudden, like I very much care for people and I cared for my family. And so I took that very seriously and in a way kind of like gave up my youth. After that summer program and, you know, that was heavily focused on going door to door and trying to tell people about God and from the mentality of, you know, like they will die one day. And like, if we don't go do this, look at what they're going to have to experience. Like it is on us, a bunch of like minors, to go and like led by people that were like 20, so wild. So as I was reflecting, like up until then, like if you would have asked me, I would have just probably shrugged my shoulders. But like from that summer, all into my 20s, you know, like that drastically impacted the way that I lived my life. Like I saw everything through this very dogmatic black or white lens, from the things that I ate, from how I dressed, from, I mean, so many components of my life was like, I am heaven bound. I am heaven bound.
Like if you would eat something, you could go to hell. If you ate the wrong thing.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah, very much raised in a faith that followed Levitical laws. I know. No, I mean, alcohol. I was like, what is he doing with my drink? Like, are my hands moving too much?
I just wanted to protect you.
Thank you. Heaven bound, Ryan. Heaven bound. Yeah, so it was really, very much so, because it was very much like following Levitical laws, Leviticus 11, clean and unclean meats. Yeah, alcohol, no coffee, the way you dressed, purity culture, like all of this stuff was through this lens of like, we are God's people, we are heaven bound, let's live that way now, and we need to bring as many people into this cult world. But yeah, I mean, it's what you woke up thinking about. You gotta go save people for Jesus. Jesus is coming soon. I don't want them in that place.
Wow.
I gotta make sure I'm not. So if I did make a mistake, you gotta bow down and like weep at the feet of Jesus to repent.
Wow.
Yeah, glad I'm not doing that anymore. This is delicious.
Yeah, I think
This is much better.
my world was similar, only I don't really remember a time as a kid that I wasn't conscious of hell. Like from some of my earliest memories, and I always like preface this with like, I don't blame my parents for the space that they brought me up in, but I do have these like memories of like us being like a 5-year-old and praying the sinner's prayer. And I look back now and I think, well, what in the world? At 5 years old, I have a concept of sin and needing to invite Jesus into my heart so I don't go to hell.
Wow.
At 5. You know, and so I don't think I ever, and then like as I grew up in the tradition I grew up in, we were never as legalistic, right? We were certainly conservative, but like there were kind of like the big three. There was like alcohol, sex, and like music. Those are the three things, and people who went to other churches. So maybe we're big 4, you know. Like I'm like dating somebody who like I'm pretty confident that
unequally yoked.
Yeah, I'm confident that the culture I grew up in would have rather you like dated a total heathen in their word than a Christian who went to a different church. It's the most bizarre thing, but so I can remember like being highly motivated out of like fear for what would happen to people. And like a lot of our tradition was like, you're inviting people to church, you're bringing your friends to church so that they don't go to hell, right? It wasn't, and that was kind of like this anchor. And I can remember in junior high, like one of my like core memories. So junior high, did y'all ever have to like write a letter to yourself?
Oh, sure.
Right. So in junior high, I think I was like,
How many times have I done that?
I think I might have been 8th grade, right? And I had to write a letter to myself. And I remember I was at summer camp the year, like that week before, and like everything's drilled into you in these camps of like, how serious are you with your relationship to God? And like all of these things, again, like 11, 12 years old, right?
Did yours end with baptisms?
No.
Oh, on our like last
remember.
like afternoon, we would have baptisms from the week, and like all of these kids would go and get. It was wild. Like I'm like, did you call their parents?
Yeah, I think our tradition would have been like, no, we're not going to do that without parents being around.
Yeah,
I think.
it was wild. We had a
But
baptism.
like I can remember like again going through this like feeling of not being like I'm not a good enough. Not that I wasn't good enough, but I'm not a good enough like follower of Jesus. I'm not like always trying to do more. I'm making all these so it's like having this like sense, like they drilled it into you that God was going to show you someone to witness to share. So I'm going into my like 8th grade year in junior high with my eyes on, and I still remember this day, like I met this kid named Gary, and he was a wreck by like all the standards of which I grew up in. Like you could tell, like this
Yeah,
kid,
he needed the Lord.
he needed Jesus, and like you could just tell like there was like all the things you're taught and you're meant to believe are like wrong with the world like had intersected with this kid's life. And I remember in English class I had to write a letter to myself, and I remember part of that letter I was writing, and so I wrote the letter about like, hey, if you haven't like witnessed to Gary or shared your faith with Gary, you need to get on it, because we're supposed to read these in a semester, right? So we wrote this letter, didn't even think about it. Next semester the letter shows up. So I read the letter and I'm like, oh man, I am like awful. I haven't saved Gary yet. So, but I hadn't seen Gary either. So I started asking around, like, where's Gary? Well, Gary had died by suicide in between the time I wrote that letter. And that wrecked me for years.
Well, yeah, because you didn't save him.
Like, I didn't save him. Like, God told me to share my faith with him. And so for, I would say, like, not just like my teenage years, but like that formed me like, probably even to this day, that like I will never not take seriously the call to like love someone.
Absolutely.
So in some ways it was really damaging, because I carried this weight that like this kid is in hell because of me. And I think in my life, as my spirituality has changed, it's been redeemed, and I can look back and say, it did form in me something to love people unconditionally. Like it did shape in me. So there was something redemptive about the like highly spiritually abusive environment and manipulative environment. But like that was what drove for years. Like there was just hell. There was just hell. Like you invite people, like hell. It was just so present, you know? And so for me, that was kind of how it shaped my own behavior and my understanding of myself. Like I think I've shared this as we've talked about like concepts of the rapture at times. I was in 5th grade when the school I was at showed us a movie on the like rapture and tribulation that was called A Distant Thunder. And like the movie ended with like people being beheaded and their heads rolling into baskets because they didn't take the mark of the beast.
Yeah. I was like, that's in Revelation.
You want to know like why I'm messed up? Like that's probably part of it.
Yeah, we just did prophecy seminars every few months where we would try and, I mean, you probably still get some flyers in the mail. Let's be honest. It's probably from the religion I was raised in.
Guys, this is so intense.
Right. So like there is this kind of
common.
like, yes.
Like it's crazy to me because like as I interact with people in the world, and it's interesting to me like how much this lingo is in spaces where people aren't even super like religious, you know? Like there's just so many components from this structure of heaven and hell. I mean, there was a show. Like it wasn't like all these Christians are watching The Good Place, you know, like, so many people that I know as adults, like when I have these conversations with them, like this duality of heaven and hell, like has impacted their life. And there's like a fear, am I making the right choice? Well, what if this, even if they're still not practicing in these spaces, it lingers in you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. So here's the thing, right? Like the word hell is in the Bible. Right. And there are these verses that get used to describe it. And I think like cat's out of the bag. I think we're all sitting here going, when we talk about how like not a literalist, we've kind of come on the other side of some probably some thinking that's not healthy around God and spirituality, and maybe done in the best of intentions. And like, I'm not a big fan of scapegoating religions, and everybody I think in some ways is victims of these things. So I feel very fortunate to have had experiences in my life, like my own Damascus Road experiences, where I felt empowered by love to get rid of some unhealthy things. So cat's out of the bag. We're not going to be talking about hell like that.
No.
But there are some Bible verses that we hear I'm curious, like, are there Bible verses that you think about with hell? Because we still are like, much to what like the accusations are on Google reviews, we still are a church that centers itself on the wisdom of Scripture. We have, it is the most important book for us, right? It's not the only book though, but for us, it's our tradition. And so as we look to and seek it and teach from it every week, like, are there verses that you go, yeah, like this one was kind of, it was one that I can like, I know it's, I don't use the word triggering lightly, but maybe it is a little triggering. It does bring up some thoughts. Like, are there verses like that that you're like, oh yeah, that's one of them?
Yeah. I just remember, again, specific to Revelation, feeling this feeling of being appalled and scared that stayed with me for decades, of souls not being like taken up into heaven when Jesus came back, according to this text. And then the fight, the war that would happen. That's the part that I was just so afraid. And also, I did grow up at a time, it was 80s and 90s, where, and maybe it's happening even now, but in the 80s and 90s, there was kind of this like resurgence of popular culture of saying, he's coming back, it's about to happen.
Hal Lindsey, The Late Great Planet Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, that book started driving a whole movement.
Yep.
In the late
Yep,
70s,
and I
early
read that
80s.
one back in the day as well. So that's
You
kind
read The
of,
Late Great Planet.
oh, I love it. I still have it. It's a black copy. It's this thin. Like, yes, it's orange Hal Lindsey on the front.
And I had never read that. I mean, from culture I
I
grew
don't
up
even know
in.
what you guys are talking about.
Yep. No, I read it. Well, he goes through the signs, basically, the signs of Jesus coming back.
It wouldn't be consistent with, Seventh-day Adventist theology.
I don't even know at this point.
Pick it up on your way home.
Okay. Sure, I'll borrow it.
It's never too late.
It's a doozy, I'll tell you. But anyways, I do remember feeling scared, or just feeling like he's coming back, but he's coming back for war. Like, it didn't align with what I knew. So it wasn't like a scripture verse necessarily, but it was the feeling that the beginning of Revelations gave me, like, whoa, Jesus is coming back to fight? Like, that's what this is about? Because that's not the historical Jesus that I understood even as a kid. So it was very hard for me to reconcile this idea of like, he's coming from heaven with the armies of heaven, and then he's raising up the souls that have previously died over the last 2,000 years, and we're all going to fight each other. And I was like, shoot, I got to brush up on my martial arts. You're like a double black belt or something, right? Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Bible verses?
Where do I begin? Where do I
Just maybe a top one or two?
a top one or two? I mean, I think we chatted about this briefly. Like, I think there's two things that come to mind. One is just like all of Matthew 24 and like the end, like the signs of the times. Like, that might not be hell specific, but like the whole chapter is just like wars and rumors of wars and all of this stuff that he's coming back. So it maybe wasn't from the lens of specifically like this verse clearly shows us that there's a place called hell, right? But I think it's more of like that verse, that whole chapter was just like, I mean, I still obviously can quote many parts of it, and just this constant fear. And ironically, even today, as I like look at what is going on in the world, if I'm being super transparent, I had this moment like a few weeks ago where I was like, but what if they're right? And like, I legitimately had fear in me. And then I was like, oh, that is icky that is still there, because I look at this chapter and it's like the signs of the times, like Jesus is coming back and we need to be ready. Again, that lingo and all of this. So like, that is one like whole portion of scripture, Matthew 24, that might not specifically be just about hell, that just like lives in my head rent free, that occasionally will reveal itself when I see certain things. Or I talk to somebody that's still involved in that world. Looking at this is because I think even in places where like that exists, like Crossroads, where there are people that have deconstructed or whatever, it still like lives in our bodies. Yeah. It lives in our experience. Yeah. Like, just like me a few weeks ago, having this moment of like, what if they're right? And then having to like, just honestly, like kind of breathe through and be like, well, what if, and so I hope that there can be an element of freedom, of letting go of this dogmatic way of thinking, of taking a bigger look at God and a lot of these things. as a teacher, there's a gnat attacking me. I apologize. Real life, we're in a real home. I hope, that people will be able to feel like kind of take a deep breath and realize that, it's not like this tally that every day we're living and it's like, that's one for hell, that's one for heaven. That like you can make a mistake or may have a bad day, and it's just simply that. And I'm still learning what that means for myself. Like this stuff for sure still lives in me. And when I come face to face with it, my therapist has, an extra meeting with me that week. So it's great.
I love it. I think for me, I hope for two things. One, I want people to join the Hellbent book study with me.
Yes.
Because I'm so excited to get to chat with our congregation just around their thoughts, just to open a dialogue. And I think that leads to my second hope. In the book, he talks about how the Christian tradition has had open-handed and closed-handed topics. And open-handed are those things that we can talk about, we can dialogue about, we can explore and have different feelings on. And closed-handed, like hell, is like you just believe it, right? And if you don't believe it, then you're not really Christian. And I would love for the outcome of this series is for people to feel like they have been able to move through thinking and talking about hell in a healthy way, to figure out their own feelings and thoughts and beliefs around it without feeling guilt, punishment, or shame from anyone in the church. That it's a safe place for us to really explore this topic.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. I think my heart is that folks in our community that are interested in really having a cohesive spirituality will walk away from the series being able to go, I can talk with people about, one, why I can be a part of this tradition that has this idea of hell that's part of it. Two, I can articulate my own views and thoughts on some of these verses that get used. And there's a consistent way of engaging with all of the material. So I'm not just looking at this one part of the Bible through this lens and this one part of my tradition through this lens, but I have this lens with which I interpret all of it, right? So I would encourage people, if you have not been a part of Crossroads and weren't around for the Peacemaker's Guide to the Revelation, that might be a good thing to go through and listen to while we're in this series, because I think that series helps us recognize that there is a different lens to take these texts seriously, but not literally. Yes. In fact, I would agree with many who have said you can't take them seriously if you take them literally, right? The only way to take them seriously is to say, I can't take this literally, but I can take it seriously, and I can recognize that there are truths that are being expressed in ancient ways. Right? In a period of time that's very different and unique, that's driven by different ways of understanding how the world works, right? We're talking pre-science, pre-enlightenment, all of these things. And that's not to say that we haven't lost something through the enlightenment too, of the enchantment of the world, which Aisha always helps me remember. A little magic goes a long way. I love it. I love it. Okay, so last word on hell. Final thought.
You know what? I think my last word is the title of the book, Hellbent, How the Fear of Hell Holds Christians Back from a Spirituality of Love.
Yeah, it's good. Grab a copy.
Yep.
We'll have copies available for people, for sure. And it'll be good. Cheers to hell.
Uh-oh.
Conversations about hell.
I got a sip left.
Hi there, I'm back with a few final reminders. Be sure to submit your digital Connect cards and donations before you log off and go about your weekend. And thank you for continuing to support this important peacemaking work. Every gift truly does matter. Ryan will be back in just a bit with a blessing to send us on our way. But first, we're excited to share a music video from our creative arts director, Darren Williams, and his band, Inside the Mind. Check it out. And that's all the announcements I have for you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back in the building next Sunday.
I've been feeling like I'm losing a lot, and I've been trying to find my way. There's something different about that place. I tried to tell you when the story began that there's no ending that fits, and this is who I am. There's so much pain I can't ignore when it hits, so take control of all this to be a better man. Somebody else that wasn't from another space and time. I tried to figure out the meaning of love while I was in a different frame of mind. There's something beautiful about when we wake. It's like a second chance, it's like a brand new day. It doesn't change the things that happened before, but we can still move forward and find a better way. Time and time I tell myself that there's no easy way to land, and we've been flying for so long. It's time to find a better plan. There's so much love that we ignore. Instead we fight and go to war. It's time to make a better land. It starts with me and who I am. I've been feeling like I'm drowning sometimes, and I've been trying to save my soul. I keep repeating the same patterns that rhyme. It's just a matter of where they go. I know the music has the power to heal. It's just a matter of will it grow. If love is medicine, then why do we kill? We need the loving to overthrow. Time and time I tell myself that there's no easy way to land, and we've been flying for so long. It's time to find a better plan. There's so much love that we ignore. Instead we fight and go to war. It's time to make a better land. It starts with me and who I am.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast today and have a blessing for you as we head out. So during this series, may you find the courage to face the questions that have long lived in the shadows, and the courage to walk honestly through the pain and fear and confusion or grief that this topic may stir within you. And may you find the courage to trust that healing doesn't come through avoidance, but through honesty wrapped in grace. And may you have the faith to believe that divine is better than fear told you, and that the heart of God is not cruelty or terror or manipulation, but love and compassion and mercy and grace that doesn't shame us into transformation, but lovingly calls us toward wholeness. And as we begin this hell-bent journey together, may hope rise wherever fear once held power. May those wounded by harmful theology find space to breathe again. And may those burdened by anxiety and religious fear discover freedom. May those of you who have questioned or doubted or struggled know that you're not alone and never were. And may we become a people who are no longer controlled by fear of punishment, but transformed by the possibility of love. And may the peace of Christ, the courage of the Spirit, and the wide embrace of divine grace go with you now and in this week ahead. Amen.